Hello, I'm the Biz Bee Mom, and today I'm going to show you how to take a pair of slippers and transform them into boots. So basically we just make crochet out of yarn a section that we can sew onto the back half of our slipper. I originally was actually looking for some kind of croc type shoes to do this with, and I was going to try to glue it on, but I found these at my local thrift store and I thought, well, those will work. They need some gluing though. I think that's why they were donated. They were starting to fall apart. But they have a nice sturdy sole on them. You can wear them outside. And I think they're going to work good for just running errand boots, and my daughter can wear them to school even. Alright, well, to get started, once you found a shoe, you need some yarn. I'm using, Bernat Soft and Chunky. It's called Dark Top is the color. You want something kind of thick, but yet with some substance. Some of the really thick stuff is just all like fluff. So find some yarn and then a crochet hook. I'm going to use an H size. It's not tiny, but it's not huge, so that's the size I like to use. You could pick your own yarn and your own size of hook. I'm going to show you how to do this. We're not going to count stitches though, because your shoe could be very much a different size. So first step though is to chain. We want to chain a chain long enough to go basically from here to here. Now if you don't know how to chain, I'll show you how to do that real quick. Start by just tying it around your hook. That's just your start. And then you wrap it around and pull it through. Round and through. And that's just a basic chain. I'm going to do that until I've gone all the way around the back of my shoe. And I want it to be long enough that it sits on top of this. I don't want it to go around the outside. I just kind of want it to be long enough to sit on top. Okay, I've got a chain and it's just long enough to go across there. And now I'm going to just do a standard crochet stitch. Actually, I want to do one more because that helps you turn, and then I'm going to find a spot in, through, and then through both of them. And that's just a basic crochet stitch. So I'm going to go in, pull my loop through, grab another loop and pull it through there, all the way down to the end. Alright, I'm all the way down to the end. I'm doing my last stitch. Now if I wanted just to have straight sides, I would just add one, but I'm going to add two because I actually want every row to be a little bit wider than the previous row. And that way it's going to go, see how this doesn't go straight up, but it slants in. So every row I'm going to add at least one so my rows curve in. And I'm just going to keep doing that and working my way up. My goal is to make something that's going to fill this in. Every time I get a little bit done, I hold it up and I make sure it looks right. And there might be a point where you need to add, instead of just adding two, you might need to add three if it's not, doesn't seem wide enough. But when I get to the end of my row, I add two, then I turn around and I come back. And I'm going to go, I got to skip this one because that's my turnaround one. I'm going to find that one. And now that I'm adding on to a row, I actually, instead of just grabbing a thread, I actually want to go in a V. So when I poke in, I should have two threads above. I don't know if you can see that. This yarn's kind of dark. Anyway, just do a basic crochet stitch. Every time you get to the end, add two, and then you'll angle in, and that angle should kind of match the angle of your boot. Okay, it's coming right along. As you can see, it's consistently gotten wider as we've gone up, and that is to line up with the angle of our boot. Now, you want to stop when you're about to the top. As you can see, this is about the same length as my boot. So, I have just went along, and I've already, I'm not sure why, but I chained two, just probably out of habit after I got to the end. And I'm actually going to go over here, and then I'm going to start on the end and just keep going. And now instead of going down and turning around and coming back, we're just going to go round and round and round. So, just continue doing a basic crochet stitch, and we're going to go all the way around, and we're just going to keep spiraling around until it's as tall as you want your boot to be. So I need to add on about, I don't know, that much more probably. I had another boot that I was comparing it to, and that's what it was based on. So that's the next step. Now we're just going to spiral around, which is kind of nice. You don't have to go back and forth. So just keep going straight. Okay, I've been busy just going round and round and round and round, and now I'm going to stop because that's about as tall as I want my boot to be. Now we're going to switch and start doing the outer part now that we have our lining done. And for the outer part, I want you to use a giant crochet hook. This one is I think it's a Q size. Wow. Anyway, so we're going to start doing with that because I want the outside to be very soft and kind of squishy, whereas this is very stiff. So now the problem is though, I can't fit this through here. So I'm going to, for just this row, I'm going to have to use this hook to pull it through. And then I can grab it and then pull it through like that. And then make sure I pull that tight. So for just this row, to transfer, we have to do it that way. Now, real quick, one thing before I go around is I need to mark where I start and stop. Now I'm working at the heel, directly opposite my V. If I take that up, I want to put a little safety pin right there because now I need to start counting rows. And after a bit, it's kind of hard to tell where each row starts and stops, so this is where I started. So I'm going to go all the way around using this to help me, and then I'm going to go around just 2 more times. So just same thing we did before, spiral around, and you want a total of 3 rows. Alright, I've gone a total of 3 rows using my large crochet hook, and this is going to be turned down. See how it's nice and fluffy? We've just done this top part right here. And now I'm going to do some tighter rows, just so that I get that kind of a, see how I kind of this bumpy effect? So we're going to do some tighter rows. So let me show you how to tighten it up. We're going to do what's called a decrease stitch. So find your next stitch hole, go in, pull it through, but then I find the hole after that, go in and pull it through, and I go through all of them at once. So I've just taken 2 holes and made them into 1 stitch. Pull that tight. Let me show you one more time. First hole, second hole, combined into 1. So I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm going to take every 2 holes and turn them into 1 stitch. That's called a decrease until I get back to my safety pin. Then I'm going to go around 2 more times, but not decreasing, just a regular stitch. So 1 row of decrease all the way around, and then 2 more rows. So a total of 3 rows, and these will be a lot tighter. They should be about as tight as the lining. Alright, we've done a total of 3 of the tighter stitches. And now we're going to increase so it's loose again. To do an increase, you basically do 2 stitches in every hole. So I'm going to go in a hole, do a normal stitch. Now normally I'd go the next hole, but I'm not. I'm going to do another stitch in that same hole. And that is called an increase stitch. So in every hole, drop my thread. I'm going to do not just 1, but 2 stitches. And as soon as I'm done with that, then I'm going to do 2 more regular rows. I've actually started keeping a list so I can keep track. Whoops, sorry. So I did 3 rows, then I decreased, I did 2 rows, I'm going to do an increase in 2 rows, and then I just repeat with decrease and increase. So I'm just going to keep going until I'm all the way down, as long as I need to be. And I think on this last row I ended up doing 4 rows to get it kind of long enough to go. So that's how it works, and that's how I do it. So I'm just going to keep going with my increase and decrease pattern. Alright, I'm completely done crocheting both the lining and the cuff. This last row I did 4 stitches instead of 3, just so it would completely cover this fur part. And I on my boot I trimmed this fur. It was a lot fuzzier, but it kind of sticks through these holes, so I got that trimmed. Now we're going to sew this on to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get my lining out, and I'm going to position it on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin it and get it kind of laid out where it needs to be. And then I'll start stitching it. I'll be back after I pin it to show you how I stitch it. Alright, I've got it pinned on where it's going to go. It seems to fit pretty good. And then I'm just going to take a needle and thread. Now I'm using some heavy duty thread. You could just use regular thread and double it. But I happen to have some dark brown heavy duty. And I'm basically just going to, what's called a whip stitch. I'm just going to grab some of this, grab some of that, and just like that. Just keep going around. I'm going to just do that all the way around. And I'll be back to show you how I do sew the cuff down. So I'm going to show you how to do that after I get the lining sewed down. Okay, I've got it all stitched down all the way around. Now we're going to put the cuff part down and stitch it too. And I'm just going to do basically the same thing. Wait, I got it stuck up on top here. Something's not right. There we go. And I'm going to tack it, because I don't want this dragging down below. So I'm going to tack it up here. And I'm going to lay it just the way I want it to go. And I'll probably put a few pins in again and then stitch it down. And then we're all done. The only other thing I might do is I might find some chunky buttons and add some buttons to the side. So. Alright, my daughter's been wearing them to school, and I've realized one thing, and this is really slouching down over the heel, and it's starting to get really pilled and frazzled, especially because she walks on the sidewalk to get home a couple blocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up and put some stitches up here. Just tack it to the lining, pull that up, because I really want to keep that off the ground so they'll last. So, just a quick tip to fix a problem. Keep those off the ground. Alright, thank you for joining me for this Busy Bee project, and hope you have a great day. Bye.